Pissed Off Penguins, our Angry Birds style type game with Tux the Penguin, fully open source. And we're going to continue adding on here. So far, this is what we've got. We have 3 birds that we can shoot, plain little Tux birds, and we're trying to hit this enemy Tux bird up here. So we can point our cannon and hit spacebar. Boom, and he explodes. Later on, we'll add some animation and actually might change it so that our bird doesn't just completely fly through him. But right now, we have also, if you look, these blocks. They're metal blocks. Our bird can knock them over but can't go through them. They still exist. We're now going to create some wood blocks that he can cause to explode. Actually, before we do that, I'm just thinking of something right here. You notice when I hit them, we're creating kind of a 2D game, but we're using a 3D environment. And you'll notice that sometimes the blocks fall forward towards us, which is fine, depending on exactly what we want. But in this case, let's try to prevent our cubes from moving forward and back and keep them on that x-axis, x and y-axis. So what I can do here is I can select one of these cubes, and I can say or not actuator, we can say always, and we'll connect this. So this will constantly happen. And we're going to add a constant, and our constant for location, and we're going to say the x. So it will stay on the x, and it will move. Wait, am I thinking about this properly? Let's see what happens when I press this. Whoa, no, that's not right at all. I think we're going to set it for y. So it won't move. Move back and forth. Normally in 2D, up and down would be Z, or it would be Y. But since we're working with 3D view, Y is forward and back. So now that cube will act similar to it was before, but it will not move forward and back. Just like that one right there that fell right here, kind of fell forward. So what we can do now is I should be able to select all these other metal cubes. Oops. This. And lastly, select the one we added that to. And we should be able to go to Object, Game, Copy Logic Bricks. So now they should all have that setting. Let's go ahead and give it a try, see how they react, see how we like that. You notice now that none of them are twisting towards the camera. Well, they're twisting, but they're not moving back and forth. Might be a better idea if I show you from the top. Go into edit mode here. You can't see our bullet, but they're restraining to the x-axis here, or y-axis. They're not moving forward. So before, let's say this cube here, if I hit it, it could have flown all the way over here. Well, they might be rotating some, but their center is always staying right here on the y-axis. So it might rotate like this, but it won't move like this. And we're also going to want to apply that to this character here. But we'll do that later. I want to get on with the topic of this, which is adding some wood beams here. So let's go ahead, add a cube. We are going to scale it down, scale it up. I'm going to make it, for right now, about the same size as one of these metal ones. And let's go ahead and make it a rigid body box. And I'm going to go ahead and copy over the game logic bricks for it so that it stays on the y-axis there. It doesn't move forward and back. Just up, down, left, and right. And at this point, it should act very similar to the other ones. Let's go ahead and hit P and knock it. As you can see, it falls over just like the other ones do. But we want to make the wood ones so that the bird can knock through it. So what we can do is just like our character up here, when he hits it, we can make it disappear. But we don't want it to be able to just fly right through them. Maybe later on we'll make one that's a styrofoam board and it will be able to fly right through it. We want the bird to hit it and it to react to the bird and then continue to explode. Hope I'm explaining that well. Basically, if we make it just disappear, if I'll show you, if I hit the bird on top, if my aim is good at all, the bird up there does not really affect the movement forward of our bird that we're shooting. So we want it to be able to explode, but we want it to kind of stop our bird first. So what we're going to do here is we're going to give this wood a property. So we'll give it a property, and we'll call it life. And we're going to make it an integer. For right now, I'll set it to 10, although that might change here. I'm going to click this so I can see the debug property for it while we're in the game mode. And I'm going to add in a collision. So on collision, oh, and then I'm going to add another property over here, and we'll just call it what should we call it? We'll just call it would hit, or even just hit. We'll make that an integer, and we'll leave it at 0 there. So when this has a collision with our tux, I think was the property we put on our tux. Let's click our penguin. Yep, tux right there. So when it gets hit by an object that has the property tux, what's it going to do? Well, it's going to start to change a property, which is our hit property here. So connect these up. And let me make this bigger and easier for you guys to see. We're going to say the hit is going to be now valued at 1. Then we're going to add a property. This is still to our wood object. We're going to say when the property of hit is equal to 1, we are now going to change the property here of life to life minus 1. And I might have to turn on some things here to get that to repeat, but let's go ahead, hit P here, and hit that. And our debug properties are a little hard to read here. I think that might be a bug in 2.6. I've never experienced that before, and I just started using 2.6. So let me see if I change the wireframe mode. Maybe it will be better. Yes, that's it. It might be because I'm in texture mode. So life got subtracted by 1. Let's go ahead and we've got pulse mode, and I always get these two mixed up. Let's make that true and see what happens now. Okay, so it started to subtract from that at a very high rate. Let's turn this up to every 5 frames. Now watch up at the top left corner, it says that cube 010.life equals 10, and it counts down until it keeps going down to 0, past 0. But in this case, 1, I think that was a little too slow. We want it to explode shortly after. Let's try 2. Okay. And now we're going to add to our wood property, our wood object. Once again, I'll make this bigger and easier for you to read. We're going to say if its property of life has a value of 0, then we are going to edit the object, and we are going to end the object. Be sure to connect all these, or else it won't work. So now our penguin should hit that, and then after a very short delay, that object should be destroyed. Boom, there we go. So now let's go back into texture mode. Let's delete that cube and replace it with this cube. Let's see, Shift E, X. Let's see if that's okay. So now, boom. Now, you notice the other one didn't explode. That's because the bird did not hit it. So the first one disappeared after it got hit by the bird. And that would be our effect on the wood object. If it's hit by the bird, it does slow down the bird, but it also removes the object after a short delay. And that's it for this tutorial. Actually, let's add a wood texture to this. We're going to say material, add a material, shadeless, texture, new, image, open, images, wood, open, and let's go ahead and change this to UV, package that in there, and then we'll make this tab U from view, scale that up, scale it up, and we will change that to our wood. Okay, so we have a wood there. Let's scale it on the x-axis here. So there we go. We have a wood cube now. Also, let me make sure here, I'm not sure if last time with that object, see, I didn't package our bad guy in there, so that version of the game, he would have been unavailable if the image was not transported or packaged with it. So we'll save that, and I thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.